What's going on, everybody? How you doing? I am enjoying myself. It is finally nice to be back in the country. Uh, if you're wondering why I have been MIA for so long, it's simply because I have been out. For some of y'all that may know, I've been out in Ireland. I've been there for like the past 10 days, and I enjoyed myself. It was me and my wife's 10th year anniversary, so we decided to go visit Ireland and spend our anniversary over there, and had an absolute blast. So many wonderful things I got to see, so many things that awe-inspiring scenery, so much history, and it was just a blast. But now I'm back here stateside, and there's a couple things that have been sort of discussed around in terms of the camera community. But one of the things that has came about that is definitely I think a lot of people deserve to sort of kind of get the gist of, which is what's going on with Blackmagic and what's going on with Blackmagic cameras. There's been such a delay that's been going on. I don't want to just first say I don't look. I know people that work at Blackmagic, but I have no insider information regarding anything. So this is just me theorizing and sort of me discussing based on things that we do know, things that have came up out since the NAB, because they've been relatively quiet on these cameras since NAB. So that's what this video is about. So I guess some of the things that we've updated that we do know is there was an interview with one of the Blackmagic representatives with Carl and ProAV TV. It was a live stream. If you haven't seen that ProAV TV video, they go over the Pyxis, which is very informative, I think. So definitely go check that out. What I would say is that the thing we learned the most is that right off the top, they were talking about some of the delays, and basically what was incurred by that is that they hope to have these cameras released by the end of August. We're at that latter half of August right now. There's maybe a week and a half left. So are they coming? We don't know. We shall see. So I guess the next question we got to ask is, well, what is causing the delay for these cameras? Now, most people understandably are thinking something must be incredibly wrong with these cameras in order for them to be, held back for so long. And that is definitely possible. However, I don't think that is the reason that these cameras are being held back. I think the reason is, in a way, a little bit more simpler, but at the same time, a bit more complex. So again, let me just say this. I haven't heard anything from Blackmagic. They haven't told me anything. I don't even have, at the time of recording this, I don't have any of the cameras in my hands. So just full disclosure for you guys. So this is just my theory. This is just my hypothesis. I don't think there's anything physically wrong with the cameras. I don't think there's any bug issues per se with the cameras themselves. I think the cameras are as close as they are to being ready to go. I think the real holdup is DaVinci Resolve. And if you're wondering why the hell is the InnoLeague software holding them up, well, we kind of got some hints about this in the latest firmware updates, or at least the latest beta released version of DaVinci Resolve 19 Beta 6, where in the notes it says it allows the ability to basically decode and read Blackmagic RAW files from the Ursa Cine 12K and the Blackmagic Pyxis, which tells me that the real reason is that they've been held up is that Resolve up until this point was not able to read and decode these raw files. So, and at this point in time, DaVinci Resolve is still in beta. I think people need to just remember there's no ProRes files with these cameras. Blackmagic has made the decision to exclusively go with Blackmagic RAW, and boy has the sun decided to just like come out hard. Because they're only B-RAW files, you have to have Resolve in order to read these files. it doesn't make any sense to release cameras into the wild if no one can actually use them, especially when you're talking about cameras that go as high as potentially $17,000 to purchase the camera. So they're taking their time to make sure that Resolve is fully out of beta and fully released. Which leads into my second thing, is the fact that typically with any Blackmagic camera, they give you a copy of DaVinci Resolve, but it's the version that it's the full release version of Resolve that the camera was able to be read on. So in this case, we know from the recent beta release that Resolve 18.5 or 18.64, if I believe I don't remember the last Resolve, fully released Resolve, that version that was out. But we do know that version will not be able to read the Pyxis or the Ursa Cine 12K files. Only Resolve 19. Resolve 19 is still in beta. My theory is that they're waiting for Resolve 19 to come out of beta and be a full release version, because as someone who works extensively with a bunch of people who work in DaVinci Resolve and also do a lot of paid corporate work, I can assure you that with a lot of my friends, they do not like updating to these beta versions. While it's cool to check out all the new tools and see all the new technology that Resolve can do, because it is a very powerful NOLE, they have a lot of money that they have to be responsible for. They have clients that they have to be responsible for. And going to something that is a beta version is not necessarily enticing to update to that. Ergo, no, most people are not going to I have this feeling that Blackmagic understands that not a lot of professional workers who these two cameras are aimed for, they're not necessarily aimed for the prosumer or the consumer, the little content creator. That's not what these cameras are aimed for. These cameras are aimed for the professionals. And they know they will not update to a version without getting the full one that is out of beta, that has been tested and thoroughly deal with a lot of the bugs. Now, does this mean that all the bugs are going to be fixed by the time 19 comes out? No. But 19 also has a lot of features. I mean, I've done a couple of videos on 19 just on the film look creator, which, by the way, they've updated since I've made that video with things to that, just that, not including any of the other stuff that they've updated as well. So they're taking their time to really make sure 19 is in its best possible position before releasing it. And until 19 is released, the cameras can't get released as well. So that's essentially my theory. My theory is Resolve is not yet ready. They need Resolve to be ready in order to read the Blackmagic RAW files, because we see in the beta version that now Resolve can decode those Blackmagic RAW files. They're waiting for that, and they're waiting for Resolve 19 to come out of beta. And then once that comes out of beta and it's fully released, they can have those packages that you get with your cameras that has the full 19 version, and they'll be ready to go, and the cameras will start shipping. But that, to me, is, again, it's not a problem with the cameras. It's just the fact that they have to have Resolve fully out of beta, and they're waiting for that to happen. But I could be wrong. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think Resolve is the reason that these are being held up? Do you think there's other reasons? I would love to know what you think. Let me know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.